Hello and welcome again everyone to another video. And in today's video, just like any other video I've been posting, it's about the top teams, but this time is in Master League. Let me fix the light. It's about the top teams in the Open Master League. My name is Yasser Ali. I'm a Twitch streamer. I stream on Twitch during the weekend. Sometimes I don't have a fixed schedule, so I appreciate a follow on Twitch and a subscription here if you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna talk about the top teams in Master League. And Master League is known for like the big boys league where like everything has to be a hundo and legendary 99% of the time, and the 1% of the time that's not legendary, it's just Excadrill. If you're around the channel, you know like I like to divide the Pokemons into leads, safe swaps, and generalist. Leads are Pokemon that genuinely like do high fast move pressure, and they have a good baiting move plus a good nuking move. Generalists are Pokemon that intend to be good everywhere. They can be a good lead, they can be a good swap, they can be good closets as well. They are solid in the back, solid in the lead, solid in the swap. Safe swaps are genuinely Pokemon that are only good with energy lead. What does that mean? Would that mean if you give them energy lead on anything the opponent swaps in, they have a chance to beat their own counters. And the most common safe swap in this league is Giratina Origin. Like Giratina Origin has only ghost damage, but sometimes it can beat Dialga, sometimes it can beat Togekiss, sometimes it beats Station. So the leads, as I said, good Pokemons with high fast move pressure and good baiting move. And the best Pokemon around that is basically Palkia. But Palkia's only problem is that it lacks the bulk, where like it struggles sometimes to beat stuff because it just doesn't live long enough. Dragonite, I call it like a better version of Palkia, a budget version of Palkia. A Palkia that lives slightly longer because Dragonite has, I think, 10 more HP or something, which help it to survive to another charge move. With like Palkia literally faint on most of the games against the dragons before it gets to the second Aqua Tail, which is resisted by most of the dragon. But the fact that it has high attack and high fast move pressure, sometimes the opponent will be forced to shield that bad move. That's how good, that's how high Palkia's attack is. Dragonite is known for like being the budget Pokemon of the dragons, and I do think that Dragonite is the second best dragon after Dialga. The third can be vary between Rayquaza and Lugia, to be honest. Yes, Lugia is a dragon. I don't care about what the typing this Pokemon has. Lugia is a dragon, okay? Landorus is the classic code breaker. Like the classic definition of a code breaker in this league. Why? If you play Master League, you would know that people just love to spam the Dialga with Zacian, or Giratina with a Steel, double Steel in the back, or Ho-Oh with Dialga. Stuff that are very repetitive, like teams that everyone copy, and the ultimate code breaker to these teams is Landorus. The only problem with Landorus is that all of its charge moves are non-stab, so technically it's a better version of Melmetal, but that doesn't mean it's always a better version. Stuff like Kyogre, destroy this Pokemon. Well, like Melmetal lose slightly with energy lead, Melmetal can flip the matchup. Solgaleo, another newly introduced to the game Pokemon that is willing to break the code Dialgazation just because it has a Steel subtyping, Fire fast move, which does neutral to both of them, while you take Resisted Dragon Breath and you have a Psychic Thing. So it's basically the Nidoqueen of Master League. And last, Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh is another Pokemon that also can break the code Dialgazation and more flexible and not that clunky. A clunky Pokemon. The difference between Ho-Oh and Landorus is not clunky. Like just one turn fast move. Sorry, 1 second or 2 turns fast move that help it to be very dynamic to play against Pokemon, like against everything. Where like Ho-Oh sometimes gets stuck for 2.5 seconds because it has a very long fast move duration. And the last Pokemon that I have in the lead, I think it should be a generalist now. It's a Groudon. Groudon get a recent buff where it gets the signature move, puts a Ice Blade or something, puts a piece, I don't know, puts a Ice Blade. It's a much better version of EQ, and EQ was the standard OP move. Like, if everything has EQ stats, that means this move is solid. If it doesn't have EQ stats, or what if it has what's than EQ, then it's below solid, above average. But EQ was the standard solid move. Groudon had that. They give it Precipitous Blade, and Precipitous Blade is 5 energy cheaper and does 10 more damage, which made it extremely good. Now Groudon kills everything that does not fly. What does that mean? Any Pokemon that stand on the ground at the beginning of the battlefield lose to Groudon. Including Kyogre, yes, including Kyogre. Kyogre can lose to Groudon if Kyogre lags and doesn't throw the charge move. Just as easy as that. You could also have the option to run Dragon Tail with Fire Punch and Precipitous Blade. The problem with Groudon now, it has two legacy moves. So if you have a Hundo without a legacy move, you have to use 2 Elite TMs, which is not wrong. This is the best ground Pokemon. So you're not doing something wrong. You're just using an Elite TM where it's supposed to be used on the best ground Pokemon. And the ground is best offensive type, so technically you can use, if you have a level 50 ground, you can even use it against every raid. You mean like good locals are using Heatran and Aggron, so you're not going wrong by going ground. Oh boy, yeah, raiding with locals, this is the best experience when you do a raid with 17 people, and sometimes you lose for some reason. Okay, moving to the swaps. Swaps, as I said, Pokemons that are good with energy lead, and they can be their own counters with energy lead. And the best 2 options here is basically Giratina Origin and Melmetal. Other stuff here are kind of like a counter swap, where like they can RPS what's common in the swap. As an example, if people swap Giratina or Mewtwo, you can just swap Yveltal or Zarude and win the game. If they swap Dialga, you go the other Landorus, you win the game. Kyurem is actually a decent Pokemon. I think it's more of it's a better lead than it is in the swap, just because it has Glacial something, which is an ice move that is a Icy Wind clone, which is actually decent. Like I thought this Pokemon is bad until I played against it, and it wasn't fun. Generalist, I said Pokemons that are good everywhere. The best option, the best example about that is the Algazation Core and Excadrill and Mewtwo and Giratina Altered. I don't think I need to talk that much about those, but they are just extremely flexible and they can hit everything. There is nothing that walled these Pokemons. I mean, if you run double legacy in Mewtwo, then yes, you get walled by Yveltal, but I don't like double legacy Mewtwo. I prefer Mewtwo with Ice Beam just for the Yveltal. Another Pokemon I didn't mention and I didn't put them in a category is Reshiram, which was recently buffed. Get Fusion Flare, and Reshiram is now extremely good. Lugia, my favorite legendary. Kyogre beats everything that is not a dragon. So technically, if you put Dialga and Kyogre and Dialga, you beat everything that's not a dragon. So you can afford to put another dragon with those two, or another anti-dragon, because everything just run dragons in this league. Rayquaza. The thing about Rayquaza, it get a new legacy move, which is basically a Dragon Claw clone, I think, that debuffs the opponent, which made it extremely good now, due to the fact that Rayquaza used to struggle to get 2 moves against the dragons. Now it does get 2 moves against dragons, because you debuff them with your first move. I think it's Brutal something? No. What's the new Rayquaza move? So that move actually helped it a lot, especially against dragons. One, Rayquaza wins CMP against all the dragons, so once you throw that move, you can get to another one. So these are like the main Pokemons that you will see, but they aren't all. Some people run different stuff. Stuff like Gyarados, if they don't have legendaries and they want to play Master League. Same for Conkeldurr. They want to play Master League, they get that random Hundo from Raid, and they want to use it. Xerneas, what does this Pokemon do? Well, it's a budget Zacian, so people who aren't lucky enough to have a Hundo Zacian and have the Hundo Xerneas, they can just use it. No, this Pokemon is bad. This Pokemon is just a bad version of Zacian. Togekiss is nerfed, is not as good. Mamoswine is buffed, it's actually good. This Pokemon Otsaluna, I tried it. It's so bad. I think Thought Tactical said it's so good, and he was surprised how good at it. How good Otsaluna was. No, it's garbage. Okay, don't listen to Thomas. Thomas is just a good player, and he can win with anything. You can't. That's why you're watching this video. Okay, just because Thomas won with Otsaluna doesn't mean Otsaluna good. Okay, that doesn't prove anything. Thomas is good, and he can win with anything. Okay. Heatran, bad, don't use it. So Resident Sleep, it's like Bastidon. The only person who had the patience to run this Pokemon is just probably Caleb Pink. Shadow Snorlax, I mean, if you have 100 Shadow Snorlax, I think it's a solid Pokemon, and it's a good flex to flex on all the PvPers in the world. Meloetta, it's actually decent and has decent bulk and good at baiting out the Dialga, and if Dialga takes longer to swap in, it can beat the Dialga with Energy Lead. Some spicy Pokemon you'd see, guys. We have Gyarados as anti-meta, and we also have it as a spicy. Next time I'll make a video about Master League. I'll put it as meta, anti-meta, and spicy. Don't try these stuff at home, okay? No, Rayquaza is good now. Try it, actually. It's actually good. And now we talked about the Pokemons. What are the top teams in the Master League? That's why you guys here. You guys want a team to spam the heck out of it and climb to hit Legend and #1 on leaderboard. The most common team, the top team according to PvPoke, if you go and choose the building a team tool and you choose Groudon, because Groudon is the #1 Pokemon on PvPoke, it will suggest 2 anti-flyers, and the best anti-flyers is Zacian, and the second anti-flyer is supposed to be an ice Pokemon, so that's why Kyurem is dead. So technically this team is good on paper. This is what the Sims prefer to see, because those 3 have coverage against everything, also has a play against everything. That's not the team I run. I do run a different team also. Smash King was using the same team. I think he popularized it because, to be honest, he's the one who popularized it more. Like, I played it off stream, he played it on stream, and he actually coached me how to use it as well. So he deserves credit where credit should be. What's the word here? Mentioned? I don't think mentioned. Where credit is due or something. Okay, where is Smash King Twitch link? Sorry, I was doing these slides like literally 2 AM. So, okay, yeah, I think his Twitch is twitch.tv/smash_king08. I tried the team with Dialga, Double Psychic, and I tried it with Kyogre. I prefer it with Kyogre. Why? Because Kyogre has the potential to farm stuff down, and Mewtwo does not farm anything down in level 50. In level 40, it used to. Psycho Cat used to do some damage in level 40. In level 50, it does not. What's the safe swap in this team? Depend. If it's a steel lead, you go Lugia, because Lugia has play against the steel. But genuinely, like, Dialga wins all leads except Zacian, which everyone lead, right? So the Zacian lead is a bit tricky. I think there is millions of videos about this team on my channel. You can go and check Dialga, check Master League teams, and you'll see how I play it. And there is also a video by Smash King, so you can also check how does Smash King play this team. Another solid team, or the top team according to Go Battle Log, is basically Groudon, Dialga, Lugia. Why Lugia is there? Because it's one of very few Pokemons that is capable of beating the Groudon and Kyogre, which were literally in every team after the Hoenn Tour, because lots of people rated those two legendaries because they are unique and they are the best in the game, right? So Lugia is the ultimate counter to Groudon, because Groudon cannot do anything to hurt Lugia. Like, Yveltal doesn't do fast move pressure, so that the energy, the damage, the energy from Groudon will add up eventually, but it doesn't add up against Lugia. There is the Diamond Nices team by Nices on twitch.tv/Nices. He is known for playing Mewtwo Double Dragon. He only knows how to play this team. What does he do when he plays another teams? He lose. What does he do when play this team? He also lose. Now it'd be like watching this video with his friend with his New York friend, and be like getting toasted. No, he actually wins some. No, I would say if you want to learn how to play this team, watch Ed and don't do what he does. Why? Well, sometimes he does questionable stuff, but he still does play this team decently. Let's be honest. He's good at playing this team. He knows how to play this team because this is the only team that he has been playing since season 1. Okay. Yo, hi Ed. Yeah, he's good at playing this team. So if you like this team, the Algazation core. The problem with this team is Snarlization. It's just a huge core breaker. That's 1. 2 Excadrill. So if you have them together, I don't think this team is just a struggle to beat those two together. Anything else? Well, Mewtwo always can nuke stuff. Mewtwo can always have a play with different movesets. So I don't know. If you have a problem with Excadrill, you can just one-shot it with Focus Blast. If you don't Focus Blast, Ice Beam does lots of damage as well. But I think because of Excadrill, he sometimes run Poke instead of Zekrom. You can also run Reshiram, so it depends on whatever you like. The new BBML, it's like, remember, like there was a team that I used to name it Old But Gold, where it's like Dialga, Groudon, Kyogre. Well, now you replace Dialga with Rayquaza. Why Rayquaza? Because Rayquaza is also one of very few Pokemon that is capable of beating Kyogre and Groudon. Why? Because it's a dragon and those don't have dragon damage, and it's a flyer, so it resists all the Groudon energy. So the thing about this team, it's extremely good. I actually was surprised when I first saw someone playing it, because I used to think Rayquaza is bad, but with the new move, I actually gave Rayquaza like lots of play. A different version of this team, if you don't have a Rayquaza, you can run Lugia. If you don't have Lugia, you can run Dragonite. Okay, don't be like, okay, if I don't have those three, then choose a different team. Okay. Sometimes I get these questions. Yesterday I saw you posting a team about Dialga, Kyogre, Groudon. What can you replace those three with? I'm like, if you replace all the three, it's a different team. That's 1, 2. In Master League, you don't choose your team. Your team choose you. Why? Because you always play the 2 hunters you have, and the third is up to the team or up to whatever you have as well. So let's say you don't have legendaries, then you have to play non-legendary stuff. So what's the team to use? I will show you later. I have a non-legendary team that's solid enough. Another solid team was popularized by Housestark, and he doesn't play Mewtwo Double Dragon, he plays Ho-Oh Double Dragon. Why? Because he proved the point that Double Dragons are weak to Excadrill and Zacian, and Ho-Oh destroys both, where like Mewtwo struggles to beat those two. So technically, it's a better version, I think so, but the problem with it is that people don't enjoy playing Ho-Oh because you can get sniped during fast moves sometimes. The Home Slice Henry team from Home Slice Henry YouTube, he hit 3600 almost with Solgaleo, and it was a level 40. It wasn't even level 50. Solgaleo, Dragonite, Dialga. What's good about this team? Well, he climbed high with this team, and as I said, Solgaleo is a decent Dialgazation core breaker. So if they have those two in the lead, you're pretty much guaranteed to win the game. I need to, for people who ask about Yveltal teams, I think this is the best Yveltal team, the one that was popularized by Panic. I think he hit number 5 leaderboard with this team. Dialga, Zacian, Yveltal basically. Zacian beats everything in the lead. Dialga beat everything. Yveltal beat those Mewtwo or Giratina safe swaps. The Crimson 19 team. I hit legend with Buzzwole. Crimson has a team. Well, it's just a Dialgazation core with anything in the back. You know how good this core is? Just anything in the back. And another team I want to talk about, yes, Mamoswine lead. I think this is the best Mamoswine team for one reason. What's the reason? Well, no, there is no reason. This is the best Mamoswine team. You can replace Giratina with Zacian to have a play against the Zacian. You can replace Dialga with Zacian to have a play against Dialga lead and Zacian lead, because Mamoswine struggles against both. Anti-meta teams, well, the best anti-meta, the best off-meta, the best budget team in this game is the team that was popularized by Pokemon Go. Now people are like, oh, Dragonite Double Steel, it's very original. Yes, it is very original because he was playing it in Open Master League, not in Master League Classic, okay? And he hit number 13 on leaderboard and number 14 on leaderboard, and he almost hit 3700 with this team, okay, during Master League. What's good about this team? Well, what's good about this team is the trainer that plays this team. Okay, Mango is so freaking busted. I have a video on the channel about this team somewhere. You can find it. Mango hit 3600 with a budget team in Master League, something like that. The team is basically Dragonite, which almost has a neutral play against everything that's not Zacian, and 2 steel to cover the Dragonite. If you're interested to know more about this team, you can check the YouTube video. I want to talk about the Mish team. Yes, it's not budget, but it's anti-meta. She used to play, she doesn't like playing Dialga, so she was running Palkia, because I said Palkia is bad and ugly, so she wanted to prove me wrong about something. I don't know. She likes Palkia, let's be honest. She likes Reshiram, but Reshiram is good now, okay? Excadrill is extremely good, so the lead could be either or. And I think the last one, no, this is like, okay, there is a budget team that I posted, I think in season 10. I think it's still viable. Like, the nerf charm hurt this team, but it's still viable. If you like Garchomp, this is a good Garchomp team. Why I call this team budget? Because you don't need a Hundo Giratina to play this team. I think a 15, 14, 13 is a good enough Giratina. That's my Giratina, that's the one I use. So, and Togekiss, we're getting a Community Day Togekiss in the next month. So, 2 Community Day Pokemons and a Legendary Wood. Like, you don't need a strict IVs to use. And that's the end of the video. Thank you so much everyone for watching. And if you like the video, please give it a like, click the channel, make sure to subscribe. And make sure to subscribe again. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything. And helps the channel to grow, because 80% of my viewers are non-sub. So please don't be an unsub. Support the channel. It's free, okay? And see you in the next video. Peace.